To hear God speak, hide and seek. To hear God speak, hide and seek. When I was 18 years old, I began to, for the very first time, honestly, in my life, really prioritize spending time alone with God on a regular, daily basis. And as I began to do that, I was like putting time alone with God before homework, before other things, and God actually began to speak to me. My faith started to come alive like never before when I prioritized having personal disciplines in my spiritual life. And what I've learned is that that's actually true for most people. And so today what I want to talk about is the second faith catalyst, which is private disciplines. Private disciplines. If we want to grow in our faith, it's essential that we have private disciplines happening. Times where we're spending alone with God that nobody else knows about. Times in prayer, times in the Bible, times fasting, times giving. Things that we're doing in secret, essentially. Guys, check this out. Matthew 6:6, Jesus says this, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you." Now, I don't know about you, but I think that verse is incredible. He says, the Father sees what is done in secret. So when you get alone and no one's there and no one sees you, God the Father sees you. He's actually there in that place waiting for you to meet with Him. And then it says, when you do that, He'll reward you. And I'm thinking, this is awesome. God's going to reward me with His presence. He's going to reward me by speaking to me. He's going to reward me by answering my prayers. He's going to reward me in different ways for getting alone and seeking Him. And it's going to cause my faith to grow. So here's my challenge for you as youth leaders is number one, are you spending time alone with God? Do you have private disciplines happening in your life? And number two, think about what can I do on a weekly basis to encourage my students to have private disciplines happening in their life? What can we do as a group maybe to hold each other accountable to everybody's reading the same thing or everybody's praying about a certain thing? And there's a lot of ways to do that, but I want you to think about this every week when you have your group. How can we do something as a group that will encourage or maybe hold each other accountable towards spending time alone with God in some sort of private spiritual discipline? I think if you'll do that and you'll encourage your students to do that, what's going to happen is their faith is going to grow. In fact, God might actually speak to them. See, to hear God speak, hide and seek. To hear God speak, you got to hide, get alone where no one sees you, and seek God. To hear God speak, hide and seek.